it feels like almost like that's cheating to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me to have time to sit here and actually write something, like, if it almost feels like it's not, I ain't gonna say too easy, but it almost feels like I'm cheating. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know, we were doing the remix. You know what I'm saying? It was just one day they just was like, yo, we want to do a remix for our special delivery. So, make sure you write an alternate verse. And I was like, oh, word, who gonna go on it? We didn't even know who was gonna go on it. You know what I'm saying? And then I got another call, yo, I want you to come spit your rhyme. This one is on it, that one is on it, things like that. You know what I mean?
So they just told you, like, hey, yeah, by the way, Ghostface is gonna be in the track. Crack Mac gonna be on the track.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, at that point, when you dealing with a major label, certain things is just, dictated. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a definite, it's an art form that, you can express anything on it at this point. You know what I mean? So, vulnerability is definitely in the spectrum of creativity. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a genre or something that you're doing that's just strictly macho, like strictly testosterone driven, like, I don't think that's even real. You know what I mean? And then I didn't hear the album until years later. Like, I heard the album, if I'm not mistaken, I heard it when I was incarcerated. Like, somebody said, yo, you got a song with Genuine? And I was like, word?
You say, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, word, when? I was hype. I was like, wow, that's fire. So when you hear the album, they mixed it up with everybody. Like, DMX is on it, Styles, Chic, the Genuine joint. I was like, oh, fire. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for being here at Great Lyricists Only podcast. We got your host, David Kidd. We got Malysa, the exclusive. Also, we have our sound engineer. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Good Time Grammars in the building.
Yeah.
I don't play it safe with my shit.
Shout out to everybody that's still spitting. Great lyricists, the Great Lyricists Only podcast.
Only on the Great Lyricists podcast.
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
It's a gift.
This is my favorite interview ever. I love y'all, man. Y'all are so fucking show.
But saying a funny bar with a serious voice is just the funniest fucking thing.
Thank David for that.
Let's get this thing going.
This for my niggas though, special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrists all glittery. Get cake, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean in the chivalry. Rap ruler, you can ask Buddha. Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark Buddha, twist in the Philly. And good humor, don't be silly. It's gravy, baby, I got it all smothered. Like makeup, I got it all covered. You want a jewel? Don't be cruel. It's authentic. Don't be fooled by these phony accusations, backlash and slanders, front and they publicity stunts and propaganda. Keep it private, cause I'm the commander in chief. I never stop like beef.
Yeah, we hear you, my brother.
Solid Ghetto, what else going on?
Loud and clear.
Peace, my brother. Peace.
What's going on, man? Sorry I'm a minute late.
Let's get started right quick, you know what I'm saying? Again, this is a Great Lyricists Only podcast. Let me just get started right quick. Give me like 2 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we lift Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, also known as G-Dep, and ask your protection and grace over their lives. We pray for David, Malysa, Big Ag, Miss Don't Play, Claire, Grant, Dr. Dre, and everyone listening now and in the future. Thank you for guiding us, for uniting us, and for being here with us. Thank you for being here with David Kidd and the Great Lyricists Only podcast. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Shout out to my little sister, man. I had to get my sister involved, man. It's a family affair, man. My sister Danny, she's an attorney down in Florida. Shout out to her, bro. So one of my first questions, man, from back in the days, man, I wanted to know, initially when you got into doing like, music back in the days, right?
Yeah.
When you did this song right here, this is way back, but it's one of my favorite tracks, man.
Go shopping, take money, go shopping. No matter what the weather, winter, spring, or fall, we'll be doing it. That's used to be King Raggedy, fiends nagging me, shit I had to breathe. Gradually, rock casually, shop passively, Vaseline, slick shit, green stick shit. Honey got some mean lipstick, my knots this thick, and I cop the meanest shit. Still rock discus, but cops frisk us. The block whispers, Def need to stop. How we cop, but you can guess like them jeans you rock. But now I'm rolling right, cause I had 4 faces, fighting 4 cases in the North Face and Dolomites. So with these here isotoners, I'ma hold it tight. Shorty looking innocent there, Benetton gear. Nothing innocent here, this Henderson gear. Give us a year, you really see clear through these Cartiers.
That's what Starr, right? So when you first did that track, like, let me know take me through the process of when you met, you know what I'm saying, Gang Starr, you know what I'm saying, Primo, as far as that whole process of making that song.
Nah, man, I mean, it was one of them things that joint, my bro, Shiggy Shy from NYGs. I don't know if you familiar with the NYGs. They was Premier's like kind of group. You know how he used to have like group home. Yeah, he had like groups that he used to work with. So they was one of them. Like they was they was some up and coming dudes. You know, they was from my hood. Panchi the Wild Comanche and Shiggy Shy. You know what I'm saying? So Shy used to let Primo hear like my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So one day, like this was after they was down with him for a while, he just approached me. He was like, "Yo, first of all, he shouted me out. Him and Gang Starr. When I say he, I mean Gang Starr and Premier actually. They shouted me out on the album before that. I think it was Take It Personal, that the album right before that. So they shouted me out on that because of Shiggy Shy bringing my stuff around them. And, it was like, you in the hood and it's like dudes is rhyming. Everybody know who's rhyming, who's who. You know what I'm saying? So my name would come up. Yeah, the kid Depp. Yeah, he from over here. Yeah, that's my man. Such like that. So I guess when he was around Premier, he used to say stuff like that. And like sometimes bring him little stuff I had on mixtapes. And so from that, he put me on the back of on the back of the album. If you look on the Take It Personal album, I think that came out in like 93 or 92 or something like that. Or 93, maybe. I was in the shout-outs. You know, that was a big deal back then to be in the shout-outs, yeah? So from that, I was on their radar, like, as far as, Gang Starr and them. So when 90, I think 97, 98 rolled around, Shiggy Shy was like, yo, Premier, I had did other stuff. I had did like the SNS album. I did the HWO. I was on a few mixtapes. So long story short, Shiggy Shy was like, yo, Premier wants you to get on the album. So I was like, word, like, you know what I mean? It was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, you know what I mean? He said it so simply, like, yo, I want you to get on the album. I mean, he wants you to get on the album. I was like, word? He's like, yeah, so he wants you to come down such and such day. We just gonna knock it out. I was like, word? And then that's just how it went. So I went down to D&D Studio. He had the beat right there. I just sat there and wrote it. Word. And that's just how that went, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So, and let me tell you, on their album, right, Shout of the Ghetto, right, rocking different songs. And so for you to have these two, you don't know what I'm talking about, these two prominent MCs on your debut album.
Oh, man.
About to do it guerrilla style, you heard? It's an Igloo Bad Boy collabo, baby. I am a ghetto nigga, you could tell him to talk. On the corner selling a snort, it's hell in New York. Post up for a minute, cops telling you walk. Fake guards selling you pork. Settle for shorts, running from court. New ports, criminal thoughts. On the blocks, bodies in court. Nobody supports.
Ghetto nigga, federal niggas that get cake. 5 barrels of niggas, do hits to flip weight. Change garments to trick Jake. Yo, this Jake, I'm wanted. Yo, I got warrants in 6 states. Stay calm in the stolen whip with switch plates. Stitches hate, I never leave a print to trace. Only evidence I leave is hickeys on chick's face. On the corner with crooked niggas with
on that, how did you, when you were able to get Kool G Rap and Rakim on your debut album, tell me how did you feel when you first heard they was gonna be on the album, and if you be in their presence, and if you to write with them? Please tell me about that right there.
Damn, bro. I mean, I wish I could say I had the honor of really writing with the brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? But it was just one of them things that I met. I met them. You know, I definitely would. I actually didn't get the chance to meet Coogee Rap at this junction. You know what I'm saying? I met him, I think, prior to that or something like that. But Rakim, no, we were in the studio together. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't write the rhyme at the time. I was just, I was just in the presence of the bro, man. You know what I mean? He was actually doing another reference for something else. Puff wanted him on, so I was just in the studio. You know what I mean? But we chopped it up, and I had met Rod like a few other times before that, just by happenstance. He was in my neighborhood one time. It was crazy how that even happened, man. And then and it was ill. Let me tell you how ill the God is, right? Because he was like, yo. So when I actually got to meet him in Bad Boy, right? I was like, yo, Rod, like I had ran into him maybe about. I was like maybe a young dude, like maybe probably like 5 years prior to that, just on a humble. He was sitting on a car on 110th in Lenox Avenue. I'll never forget that, right? So I'm just walking by, like, you know what I mean? He's sitting on the car chilling, like, and I was like, yo, Rakim. And he was like, yo, what's going on, shorty? I was like, yo, man, I'm a big fan, man. Yo, good to meet you. He was like, no doubt, man. Keep it. And he was like, that's what's up. Thank you, man. And I kept it moving. I'm walking I'm walking towards Seventh Avenue. And just like that, he was like, no doubt, shorty, no doubt, peace. And when I met him in 98, not 98, 2000, when we recorded the joint, I was like, yo, Rob, I met you a while ago I told him the whole story. He was like, hell yeah, sure, I remember that shit. I was like, word? Word, excuse my language, man, but he definitely remembered that, man. He was like, yo, I remember that. He was like, yo, I was sitting on the car and you walked by. I was like, yeah. And he straight remembered that, man. Like, I couldn't believe he remembered that shit. He was like, yeah, I remember that on the 110th. I was like, wow. Because I didn't even say, I said, yo, I didn't even say, yo, I met you on the 110th. I said, I walked by you, you was sitting on the car on Lenox Avenue. And I walked by and I was like, yo, Rob, what's up, man? And you was like, yo, shorty, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, on the 110th. Yeah, I remember that. So that was the coolest thing to me, man. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it might seem like nothing, but it was a big deal to me. But yeah, so I was in the studio with him, and we got the right. We didn't get the right. Excuse me. We chopped it up. You know what I mean? And that was that.
Oh yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Like I said,
Yeah,
man, the same way you was like, yeah, to him, same way to you, brother. So I'm like, yeah, get the meet the G, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I
same thing,
appreciate
man.
it.
So thank you, man.
All good.
First of all, let me go back. I'm slightly starstruck. I'm hyped and lit.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
pleasure and an honor to meet you. Right before
Likewise.
right before David, who I call David, even revealed that this interview was going, just know that Special Delivery is real heavy on my playlist. So I was bopping super hard to that. And
Whoa.
he comes and he's like, guess what? And I'm like, ooh, what? Never in a million years did I think he was going to drop your name. So I've been
Wow.
super excited. Anyway, my name is Malysa. I
Good to
am
meet you,
very nice to meet you as well. I'm originally from the DMV, the D, the M, and the V at some point or time. I've
Okay.
lived everywhere between Pennsylvania and Texas. So,
Wow.
yeah, I've had a little bit
Okay.
of the heat, a little bit of the snow. I feel
Hell
like I
yeah.
like them both because it snowed in Texas when I was there. So it is what it is. But
Word.
outside of that, my passion is poetry and spoken word. So I'm always
There you go.
extremely lit for lyricists because I like to get tangled and hear about processes. So with all that being
All
said,
good.
with all that
So,
being said, let me start that question. So um influential wise, and I'm talking before G Dep was G Dep, when G Dep was just in the grandmama kitchen. And I hear you make a lot of mention of being raised, or the people who were influential. Like I heard a story about when you got the call from Black Rob and you were with your auntie, or when you met your wife and it was your auntie who put in influence, and then knowing
Right.
about those different women as well as your grandmother being an influence on you. In what
Right.
way, shape, or form does that pull into the evolution of who you were versus who you are now?
Well, I mean, I definitely could say that, I understood, that I always had to have a good presentation, you know what I mean, from dealing with, from having love, for the women in my life, you know what I'm saying? Like I always knew that I had to present things a certain way. I had that kind of upbringing where, you know what I mean? That's what their love, you know, taught me, you know what I'm saying? To be presentable, and I think that helped me, like, to be like a, more universally, to think more universally, you know what I mean? So I would definitely say that's how they, the women in my life influenced me. They influenced me to kind of be, to understand that everybody's gonna, everybody's perspective on what I'm gonna be saying, and things of that nature, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Now, coming from a background, or coming from a lifestyle where you kind of you have to, in some regards, develop a tough skin, or you have to develop a street persona, or you have to, not when I say develop, I don't mean in a facade type of way, just you're realistic. How do you keep the divide so that that persona, that part of who you are, does not then doesn't then harden your heart, or harden your ability to be that type of flexible or that type of transparent?
I mean, honestly, that's a process. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, sometimes it's hard to, like, distinguish the two. You know what I'm saying? The from reality, or I want to say just art and reality. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so sometimes you can become so engulfed in the craft that you feel like there is no separation. You know what I'm saying? This for me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think sometimes, reality, I think the nature of a person, I'm just, like I said, I'm gonna speak for me, is always to come back to their just their natural selves. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think like I went decades just being G Dep. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Hmm.
once in a while, I can't say decades, but I mean, like, maybe a decade or close to a decade, just G Dep, but but I think one always comes back to, their namesake, like who they remember themselves as, aside from, I think life just teaches you that, you know what I'm saying? When you have to do other things that, don't that aren't, like, industry or artistic. So I think that's really the only thing. I don't think, me personally, I didn't consciously make a distinction, honestly.
That's fair, and I can understand that. I think, like you said, it's all a process, and therefore you just kind of, life circumstances, situations, opportunities, lack thereof, all
Right.
become the foundational blocks that you stand on, and you just continue to rebuild your house. So I do appreciate that.
So I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna go back a little bit further back, right? So
I guess I'm true. Honey, what the scoop? You kinda cute. The man is driving coupe, so use my climbing boot. Blase, blah, not a star. I don't have a car. Fuck all the chatter, you can have a bra. Peep the framework, see if the game work. Heard she gave a man hurt. It's the same dirt on the same skirt as the week pass. It's like the freak fast. Catch a whiplash when the Jeeps pass. Throw on the switch just to get rich. Call your hun before I bag it. After that, it's chicken head, bitch. I only got the digits when I met you. Since we had
First of all, how old were you when you made that song?
Too,
and then two, when you first heard it on like a mixtape or you heard everybody loving the song, what was your mindset at that time when you made the song? Head over wheels.
I was about 19 when I made that. And so, I mean, it was just one of the things, like, it was like, the just the vibe of New York City in 1993, 4. You know what I'm saying? That was just we was outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dudes talk about they outside now, like we was outside living. We lived outside, it seemed like. You know what I mean? So it was just, everything that had to do with street, cars driving by, not for nothing, the females outside, you on the Ave, I was out there hustling. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, that was just my surrounding, and so that was one of them things that where that was how that song came about. It was kind of just something that, was just on my mind. It was the culture that I lived in, everybody was in the car, everybody wanted to push something, everybody was you know, chasing something, you know what I'm saying? So that's what that song was about.
So what was your ideal car at that time? Before I go to my next question, what was your ideal car that you had to have?
Man, at that time, you figure 94, 90, 93, the MPVs was crazy. Um, the Acuras, of course, like the Act Legends, they was big at that time. You know what I'm saying? I like I said, you know, I was in that hustler era where, you had you got a Honda Accord. If it was crispy with the nice little rims and the little net in the back. If you had the wagon, you was doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? So, it was a few cars out at that time. The Z was I think still in. Yeah, the 300Z, the Nissan joint, that was still in. Yeah, man, that was probably I don't know, the truck was out. I think the Forerunner. No, the Forerunner was past the Forerunner. I think in '93, I think the Land Cruiser was the joint at that time. I didn't drive though. I didn't have my own new car at that time. Like, I had a used joint. I had bought a wagon, a Dodge Eagle. You remember the Eagles? I don't
Yeah,
know.
Dodge Eagle. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody remember that, but it was my first little hoopty. You know what I'm saying? I think I bought it my last year of high school, so I had my little whip, taking my whip to school and all that. So it used to do me little justice. You know what I'm saying? But word, that's what it was though.
All right, what's good, my brother?
Peace, bro. How you?
Peace, man. I'm just chilling. So
Look,
since you've been back, whatever, what motivated you to get back into the music?
me listening to what brothers is doing, or just listening to me being a fan of music in general, just brought me to that place to make music again. Like, you know what I'm saying, on a public level, because I never stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I was incarcerated, like, I used to write. Like, I had my own industry in my own little space. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I had my little
Yep.
regimen. Yo, write three songs a month, 12 freestyles. What was it? I was writing a song a month and three freestyles. So that was a quote I was giving myself. You know what I'm saying? So like, when I came home, it was just like, okay, I stayed in tune to what we was listening to, because we had like, the kiosks in jail. So you was able to, especially once 2018, 19 came around, you was able to get digital and just look up anything, all kinds of music, old, new, any kind of music. So, I stayed on my grind, on my dean with stuff like that. So when I came home, it was just like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I was eager to, get with the new wave of the technology. I was feeling how beats was being made. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get with it.
All right, that's what's up. I want to touch on a project that you did earlier this year, the Lessons Never Losses. All right, whatever.
Okay.
And you so you started off with a track called Exodus. Like, why'd you start the project with that song? Like, was it like a specific reason or something? Like, were you trying to set the tone for the whole project, or like, what was the reason
Yeah.
behind that? Because that's a real deep song to me. So,
Really, it was a significant reason to me for doing that song. It was like, I was looking at the industry and I was looking at, how we were being treated as far as artists. And it just felt like that's what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, when I say being treated as artists, I mean like how, the whole situation was going with, like, streaming and, like the whole thing was being minimized to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, devalued. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was looking at it. And it was seeming like other artists was feeling that vibe, was feeling, for lack of a better, you know, better term, or let me just say, like, it just seemed like dudes was fed up with the industry, like, and I was watching it and I'm looking at it as well. I probably had a little more zeal than any than others. You know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't been doing what I do in so long. You know what I'm saying? But I could see like brothers was fed up. Yo, come on, this streaming shit. Niggas ain't making no money with this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? The game is all twisted. You know what I mean? It's so dudes is, it just was crazy, man. The beat people, even the producers, they can't even get no money no more. Like, they selling their beats for, minimum, you know what I mean? So, I just felt like when I said Exodus, I meant like, it was time to, it seemed like it was dudes was moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, like moving on to whatever, we were taking our show on the road. And that was what I felt. And I didn't and not even music. It felt like the whole the whole show. Every you know what I'm saying? Like entertainment itself. I'm not even talking about it wasn't even music. It was movies. Everything was just seeming like it was worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like so that was why I came up with that. I could really get passionate about that, but that was definitely why I made that song. That was where that song was coming from.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, I got to play it right quick.
They say a picture's worth more than 1,000 words. Well, these words are worth more than 1,000 pictures. They claim that they with you, but really be out to get you. Forget about your sister, man, all them doubtful niggas. Yeah, I call them niggas cause they be about that ignorance. And all my sister tripping, don't forget about your niggas. And all my niggas love your sisters, hey yo, how you living? Cause all they had was malnutrition and them foul intentions. If you ain't putting out them hits, might put them out of business. How many times you expect for me to bump my head? Before I realized I could bump my rhymes instead. The bumps in the road, I avoid and look ahead. My eyes on the bread and the way to make a centillion from a reptilian thread. We overcame it, they said what I wrote was pain, and this here is another banger that's dangerous as getting out the bed. We out of here like a ball head. Look at the clock, look at the bitches. We only go back as far as I remember. I tipped the scale.
Man, y'all better go check the rest of that out, man. Yeah, they're gonna have to hit the rest of that. Go get the album.
Yeah, and the album.
Make sure y'all select the link at the top. That's GDEP's IG right there. Please support. We know when some of our favorite artists drop albums, whether we stream it, whether we buy merch, whatever it is, man. Make sure we support them at all times. We love y'all for what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? I know I can't do it, and thank you for what you do. You know what I'm saying? So we
Appreciate
got
you,
Miss
man.
Swan
Be
pulling up her
available.
question. Yeah, salute, Miss Swan.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be
No
here.
problem.
I'm very honored. I hope my audio is good. It's a pleasure to meet you and have the opportunity I will take it a little
Thank
bit back.
you.
You spoke on 1993 and that Dodge Eagle Talon. I had a little boyfriend. I used to steal his mama car. He would give it to me though. But with that being said, I mean, I had a good time. But the grit and the grime of where hip hop has evolved from 32 years, because that was 32 years ago. Um,
Wow.
you know, from us being kids and riding from here to there, catching the bus and hustling, and then to now the present day. How do you compare life and stand it up against what we're doing right now?
I mean, it's just, it's just more responsibility to, I guess from then and now, you know, I mean, first of all, it's a definite difference in, my brain makeup and how and what I, what I'm saying, how I even, approach life. You know what I'm saying? Like I really didn't think, long term at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a whole nother. It just seemed like a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say God bless the children because they're crazy enough to do the unthinkable. Something to that effect. Like they're ill enough and crazy enough to try the impossible, and they most of the time pull it off. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that we would think is possible or would even try to do. You know what I mean? I would probably never do at this point. You know what I'm saying? So the experience that one has over a 37-year period, you would hope, a lot of things are different. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you. We really didn't know any better, right? But
Yeah.
you were in a position and you had network. I heard you. I listened to some of your interviews, right? I've been a fan since I was about 19 or 20. But I didn't know that Black Rob was the one that like bigged you up and put you on and everything like that. With that being said, Black Rob was another person that came from the grit and the grime of what we went through as 70s and 80s babies. As a 70s and 80s baby, how do we contend? How do you contend? Not me, because I'm not an artist, I'm a fan. How do you contend with what's going on now? The skinny jeans, the mumble. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't know what the hell they be talking about. How do you contend with that?
I mean, I just got an understanding. This is my understanding. Is that hip hop is always gonna be the culture of the youth in a way, like so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because the youth usually have like not a naivete about them, but it's like they're speaking from a genuine place. Like young people, they have new thoughts, new ideas. You know what I'm saying? So even if it doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? You always have to take that into accountability because even our generation, we were the voice and we were young. You know what I'm saying? So I look at the youth and I know that I gotta at least see what's going on, what they're thinking, how they're moving, what they feeling like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I that's how I stay inspired. You know what I mean? Because, I work in like youth centers and things like that. So, I get to see, just the young perspective, what they really like how they move, like what excites them, you know what I'm saying? And not just using that as my muse. It's just, I think once you understand that, you can, apply that to what you got going on and how you know, move with your stuff. I mean, and then I look at rap as music. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we got breath in our lungs and studios to record in, it could be something laid down. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other music. And I think that's another thing that people our age have that's important. You know what I mean? We have like a music IQ. Like you said, we 70s babies, eight, some of us 60s babies. You know what I'm saying? Raw was a 60s baby. You know what I mean? Well, 70s, he was born in 68, but we got this catalog in our head that, we go back to all kind of music, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, knowing that kind of stuff sometimes can take me over the top. Just knowing how to sometimes like a lot of the kids I speak to, like they can't even appreciate certain music. And it's a shame in a way, like, cause you're like, okay, certain songs that I'm thinking about, they give me the fuel to understand, what it means to make something that could move you, to make something that could just resonate with you, for the rest of your life and generations to come, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know that, that in itself can help you just be a great artist.
And I appreciate you for answering my question and for being here tonight. Shout out to you. I was doing some research on you and your wife. Shout out to her. Um,
Thank you.
shout out to you and your union. You have
Appreciate it.
a recidivism, plan set up for these young black men, and I think that that's huge. I think that what you're doing with the youth and trying to ingratiate them back into the culture and give them opportunities, to give them a place in a lane is huge. I want to know. I want to know what prompted you to do that. I mean, uh, let me be clear. I want to know what was, when I get out of here, I want to go out. I want to make sure nobody makes the same, steps that I made. What prompted you to start this organization that you got going?
I mean, it wasn't really anything like, I can't say it wasn't a conscious effort, but I don't think it was like that deliberate. It was like kind of like, it just feels like what I'm supposed to do as a elder, you know what I mean, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like I can be an example of what to do or what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So, I had the opportunity to be in a position that, kids could interact, or I could interact with children or youth for that matter. You know what I mean? So I just took it. You know what I mean? And I think that's just how things should be. Like, if a person has something to share, or that somebody else can benefit from, then that should be your duty. You know what I'm saying? Like in a village, we all have to learn from each other, and sometimes I think we forget that we're from a village. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just felt like if a person can learn from whatever I had going on, so be it. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to serve, being a God fearing man. You know what I'm saying? You here to serve as well. And I keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And again, thank you again. Go ahead, David.
All right, I gotta go back, man. I'm the old head, man. I'm the old head, so I gotta go back.
Yo, I put a finger in the air for the hearing impaired. If you're hearing this fair, then you're hearing it clear. Man, I fuck with Bob, got put on the job. The only question is the stars, I'ma put on the saw. Straight cake. I suggest you vacate. When I shake, they feel earthquakes in 8 states. Straight off the Richter, drunk off the liquor. Shot towards you, mister. Of course it hits you hard. Against odds, I pick the card, any problem, I hit the squad. Eyes on the chapard when I twist cigars. Think you got it all together? Get it ripped apart. Man, you can't stand the heat, stay up out of the street. Nigga turned police cause they shot at his Jeep. I subtract like math, don't make me blast. I want it all, fuck half, don't make me laugh. By all means, get this money, it's all green, it's all good. And I wish that y'all would, and fuck that. Security told you to tuck that, now up that. Now that you see where your luck's at, I got the game by the balls and I get on calls. So if you play too much, I put your shit on pause and black out.
That's my bro, man. That was when they asked me to get on that. I was really honored, man, because that was one of the ill songs he had on his album. I was like, damn, that was one of the joints that I listened to all the time on his album. So I was like, wow, and when they said, yo, get on that, I had to definitely get right.
You got busy on that one, man. That.
Yeah, that joint is hard.
I need to look who produced that song. Give me like 2 seconds. Find who produced that.
I think D-Dot might have did that.
Oh, Derek Angeletti, aka okay, Mad Rapper.
Yeah, I'm not all the way 100. If I'm not mistaken, no, he did that.
So Big Ock is back. Go ahead, Big Ock.
Oh yeah, I got to ask you about another track off that, Lessons Never Losses. All right, my
Gotcha.
brother, on that song, Dope, you took me back to '88, bro. like, like, as you
Yeah,
flipped that Kane sample, man, I was,
yeah.
man, I kept playing that song back to back. Man, it took me back to my teenage years, man, for real, for real.
Oh, I appreciate
That's
that, man. 'Cause
fire.
that's what it do for me, man. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I
Like, how'd you
appreciate
feel
you.
like when you got that track? Like, when you first heard that track, like, how did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, that was just always something that I wanted to rock off of. And honestly, that was something that I had in the clip for a while. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, if I ever get to, you know, do this Big Daddy Kane beat, this is what this is what I would say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and it just so happened to land right on my lap. Pause. It was like, yo, we got this beat. Check this out. And he played it, and I was like, yo. And so I'm like, yo, I got something for that. You know what I mean? And so we just start putting the song together. Man, and that's that's one of my favorite joints of that album too.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you that, like, pretty much, and what's your favorite on the album? You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorites. Like, I'm not like the what's the joint? I think it's Highly Favored. Is that what it is?
Highly
Highly
motivated.
Motivated. Highly Motivated. Yeah, Highly Motivated.
Yeah,
And Charged with Winning. You know, I like that one
yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's fire.
Charles Winner.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about this right here?
Praise the creator. Gonna do it like, gonna do it like Mr. Jeopardy, yeah. Black Monkey, yeah. Why I'm going so hard, it's a business. Just worry about the branding and pleasantries. That's why your craft ain't sharp and your rap scene hard and your hotel has no amenities. Bad little Lebanese, pray for me. Say to watch these bloodsuckers that drink, but they never bleed. Why they all say this is something I never be? Welcome to the real world, shouting out to Heather B. This is still war. I'm on course just like when you feel war. I could call up top, that's the
Y'all
real
just better
war.
let's go see the album, man. Go
Yeah, they gotta just go get that,
go
man.
get that, man. I'm not playing it.
I don't know, man. I've been working, man, but I'm a fan too, man. I like to listen to what I like to listen to, man. I gotta go back to the archives. What about that Stay Ready, man? Anybody got a load of that Stay Ready?
Yeah, I checked that out. Yeah, I like that too. That's fire.
Oh, good looking, man.
Yeah, but
We
I'm just
working,
hooked on
man.
that Lessons Never Losses, though. I'm telling you, like, that's like, you know
Good
what I'm
look.
saying? That's my shit right there, bro. Like, for real, for real.
I appreciate you,
I
bro.
got two off Stay Ready I like.
Yeah, Swan got a couple on that.
Which one you feeling on Stay Ready? Because we about to do another video, so I want some perspective on it. What you
So
think?
I had two ones that I liked a lot of it, but Scam and I Know were two of my favorite tracks off that album.
Oh, the scam. Okay, we just did a video for the scam. Did you see that?
I haven't seen the video. I'm gonna look forward to it.
Got you. I appreciate that.
Who filmed the video?
That it's kind of like a combination of this new technology, the AI, and you know what I'm saying, and just just some collective efforts. So you let me know how you feel about it, man. Hit me back. Let me know what you think.
All right, I got you.
And we talking about this right here?
I've been on these so they say I'm warming up. Playing Lincoln Center with an orchestra. Still they looking at me like a corporate thug. With a foreigner who could easily, if they wanted, talk your tongue. And the business analyst with binary skills. Who could do your portfolio for 20 bills. Me and Fat in Malibu, house in Beverly Hills. I'm eating now, so they say I got a heavy bill. Still I get it how I live, they tend to do the most. Hate when they be really acting like we super close. The same thing you do for clothes, you try to boost your post. Those ain't you blows, what you do to those? I'm waiting on my guys, I got that expertise.
That's to be continued, man. So we're gonna see a part two.
It's coming, man. It's coming. Give it a second. I don't want to, I don't want to give away the the plot twist and nothing like
Can't
that.
wait
You know what I'm
for it.
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So give me a second. We gonna set that off real soon.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely loving it from the rooted to the tutor. And like I said, I'm all about I'm digging into processes. I'm always trying to absorb wisdom nuggets. I guess process wise first, and then I'll probably elaborate on that for a little bit. From chowder to ghetto to lessons, not losses, the process that you were in the beginning, the influence, the lesson that you were trying to put out, or the message, the influence from one project up to the next. Is this the same G depth? Is this an evolution of? Is your process going from when you put that together to now the absolute same? And if not, how have you changed?
Well, I mean, I can't say that it's the same process. You know what I mean? Um, you know, I got a different process so how right now. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, a lot of my music was kind of like I was looking for a niche. You know what I'm saying? You know,
That makes
and
perfect sense.
yeah, I was smoking a lot hella weed back then. You know what I mean? And I was trying to find a chamber, to come from, with these, back then, you know, you try to find so many different ways to come at with so many different styles and music to me, and from being a newcomer to the industry, as far as from a professional standpoint, I was trying to find, a way to come at music. You know what I'm saying? So I think at this point, 20 something years later, after experimenting with all of these different, ways to come at music, I think now, I've just kind of figured something out a little bit more so than, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to say like I'm evolved to this new G depth, like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, what I will say is that I think I've figured out, you know, I've had enough space to figure out what works for me, you know what I'm saying? And now, my process is a little different, you know what I'm saying? It's like now, because I think about it in hindsight, like a lot of the stuff that I was writing then was kind of like experimental. Like I was kind of just, let me just try this, like, or, let me do it like this and see this, even the album itself, like a lot of people, say, the Child of the Ghetto, it was my debut album, of course, but it wasn't, to me, it was kind of experimentation, a whole lot of experimentation involved. You know what I'm saying? But now, I kind of know, I kind of have a more of a stable foundation on what I think will work for me. You know what I'm saying? For now. So that's what you hearing now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of more like something that's been working. You know what I mean?
I like that, and I like that you said that. I tend to find myself in that same realm. I
Right.
feel like it's vibe to me. It's kind of like what you were saying, evolution of things. So,
Mm,
what mode or mindset, what intentions I had probably 15, 20 years ago, I still have the unction. I still have the hunger, but my
mm,
intention is different. It's not any less
mm.
passionate. It just has a different target or a
Right.
different place I'm looking for it to land. Like in the beginning, it might have been grit, and I'm for the streets. And now you may be more conscious of the fact that you do mentor, the fact that you have had these experiences. And so now instead of them
Right.
being um, grit, it's more like your testimony. You kind of going through your Paul or your
Right.
phases. So I can absolutely understand that. And then from there, what is your writing process? When you sit, or do you sit? Is it just, okay, I'm kind of going through my day to day activities. Something might go to me, so let me pause here, jot that down. It may or may not make it to paper. Or do you go into a certain space where you say, hey, I'm going to block out 4 months. And for 4 months, I just want to scribble down everything I've seen for the last year in 4 months. What's your
Mm.
process with that?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not that methodic. I'm more I'm like I'm spontaneous when it comes to creativity in a way.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of just I'm like a like what's the guy that used to splash the stuff all over the wall and then get him make a painting out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Abstract.
yeah. What was the guy? What was the painter's name, man? I
I
can't.
cannot think of the name, but you're talking. I mean, abstract painter. I do remember what you're talking about. I can't think of his name though.
Uh, yeah, I can't think of his name right now, man. But so at this point, I'm just mostly what I do is I'm jotting down titles and concepts. So when I do get some production, I can say, okay, yeah, that title that I wrote the other day, that will go to this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then from there, I can start formulating the lyrics. Any strong thoughts that I jotted down, I'll throw that in if it applies. You know what I'm saying? So like
Mhm.
I'm just kind of like a person that kind of tries to prepare. Be prepared. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll jot this down, that down, this down, that down. And then when creativity strikes, I already most of the time have it. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of like lately, like I don't know, I'm just at a point now where it's just all coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get it if I run into something that really moves me like to the point where it's like, yo, this is crazy. Like I could just sit there and just go in. Like, and when I do that, it feels like almost like that's cheating in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for me to have time to sit here and actually write something, like if it almost feels like it's not, I ain't gonna say too easy, but it almost feels like I'm cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be doing three different things somewhat for it to feel like I'm working. Like, or for it to just have a certain meaning, significance to me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what I meant by I'm a spontaneous creator at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I do probably four different projects at one time, and I'm editing, I'm writing. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a beat. To write is like just it's a part of what I'm doing now. You know what I mean?
I like that. Is it easier for you to write then, or is it easier for you to freestyle?
It's easier for me to write
Mhm.
because I mean I can't say it's easier because now I mean it depends on what you mean by freestyling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to sit here and have a cipher and just you want me to freestyle, I'd rather not do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I want people to hear my craft and what the things that I'm excited about. As far as what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? So but as far as like freestyling when it comes to actually creating, like if we sitting here creating a song, I know I'm not the only one that does this, but that's a creative process too. You know what I'm saying? Just play the beat. We sit here. I go in the booth, spit 2 lines, maybe 3 lines, or we don't even have to go in the booth. We'll just put the beat on, write 2 or 3 lines, we'll talk about it. I'll do this, and that, get back to it, write another. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, we got the whole 16 or we got the whole song. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that's how I'm doing it nowadays. Back then, you know, I had this thing I used to do where I used to throw on like a recorder
Mhm.
and throw the beat on and just freestyle, go ham. That's actually how I wrote Child of the Ghetto. That's how I wrote Let's Get It. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a camcorder and I threw the beat on, and I just went crazy. Really, get smacked silly, You when you're ready. Shit, I was born ready, and you know what I'm saying, just bugging out, like you know what I'm
Fish
saying.
and spaghetti. Don't forget
Yeah,
it. That was my shit. Like real shit. Like I'm from Chicago. Fish and spaghetti was every Friday. But you had a song. It was a song I just sent called I Know from your latest record. And I feel as though the grit in which that you came up with was very much resonated in that particular song. And I just kind of know what your frame of mind what your frame of mind was.
that was kind of special. That song was something that we needed. We needed, like, you know, a cherry on top for the Stay Ready album. SNS had just sent me the beat, and it was like, yo, this is crazy. What you gonna do with it? You know, we didn't kind of plan to have it on the album or anything, but I had it, and S had called me, and he was like, yo, I got something for you. He's like, I'm gonna send it to you. And I was like, wow, okay, boom. So he sends it. I'm like, yo, S, that joint is crazy. Like, and I'm just going in on it. And the exact flow that we used, like just the freestyle, we wound up using that. To answer your question, like where I was coming from was just like, you know, I needed to be clear on where I was coming from on that song. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed people to, you know, get a clear message of, you know, I say stuff on there, you know, tell Governor Hochu I ain't never coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not muddy up what we talking about. Let's not turn this into just a lyrical exercise. And I want people to understand, you know, where we coming from. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know what you thought. This is where we going with it. You know what I mean? So that was what that was about.
You talking about this track right here?
Back for another round, I'll be staying in the fight. I'll be having people's ears, so I'm similar to Mike. Some won't believe it, even if they seen it with their eyes. They don't wanna know the truth, cause they just so used to lies. And I follow through. Tomorrow cool, I do the social thing, you mad cause I don't follow you. Some won't be happy unless they see you on tomorrow's news or an article where they bombing you. They say I got my head screwed on properly. How my style got to be, they say it's an anomaly. I just say
Again, what I'm gonna say? Go get the album, y'all. Stay
Yeah.
ready. You know what I'm saying? So stay ready. But I mean, I'm gonna ask something about this right here.
Really, get smacked silly. You get smacked silly. Fucking with these niggas from the what you doing? When you ready? Shit, I was born ready. And I was already on fish and spaghetti. Creep with the culture. Rap like a culture. Attack like a vulture. See you in the culture. Said I'll get you. Wear it if it fit you. Got 13 inches. I see the big picture. If it's to get richer, I probably get richer. If not, burn it. Be hot like a furnace. Shoot the video. Motherfuck city permits. We own the city. On the phone with Diddy. Rap on pretty. When she get aroused like the sucker own city. Put it in the video. You wanna holler, got the follow, nigga, here we go. Get your ticket, the train don't miss it. Won't reach out, and you better won't visit. To my whole wardrobe, listen, make this money, take this money. Ain't no way you can take this from me.
Yeah, we know the rest of that right there. So yeah. So you did that track, you did a lot, man. And of course, you know, I was gonna play the one with Ghostface and all that, man. That's the other track right there. What was the process in doing? I know the song with Ghostface and you know that remix, man. But yeah, the process with that song with Ghostface.
I mean, that was another bad boy you know, project, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ghost, you know, the whole war and everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? That was one of them things. You know, the label put that together, you know what I'm saying? You know, Puff was that, you know, he was the vision that he was trying to accomplish. That was, you know, how things was going with my project, like a lot of the features and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just writing the rhymes, you know what I'm saying, and picking the beats. You know what I'm saying? But like overall, like, you know, bro had his vision on, you know, what he wanted to do. Like I didn't even know, you know, we were doing the remix. You know what I'm saying? It was just one day they just was like, yo, we want to do a remix for our special delivery. So you know, make sure you write an alternate verse. And I was like, oh word, you know, who gonna go on it? We didn't even know who was gonna go on it. You know what I'm saying? And then Then I got another call, yo, I want you to come spit your rhyme. This one is on it, that one is on it, things like that. You know what I mean?
So they just told you, like, hey, yeah, oh, by the way, Ghostface is gonna be on the track. Crack Mac will be on the track.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I mean, at that point, when you dealing with a major label, certain things is just dictated. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not dictated, but certain things have to go a certain way. Like, you figure we had a single out. You know what I'm saying? Special Delivery was the single. So, you know, at that point, if you're not gonna be the one to say, yo, let's do a remix to this, they're gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let's, because now we can, generate, some more money, generate, other things, you know what I'm saying? So, that was where that was going. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I got the call, yo, we got a remix going, we putting together, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at that point, I'm trying to, work on the next album. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was doing.
So you know what though? Remember that when I initially, spoke to you, right? And I was like, "Yo, man, I like that part where you said fish and spaghetti," and also Swan just mentioned it, right? So she says from where she is, it was an actual dish. But can you explain to us what fish and spaghetti meant to you?
So, what Fish and Spaghetti was, it was my man, God bless the dead, man, my man Ivan. We used to roll dice all the time, and he used to be like, when he used to roll dice, he used to be like, fish and spaghetti. Come on, baby. Fish and spaghetti. And we used to be like, yo, what you talking about, man? Fish and spaghetti. What is that? You know what I'm saying? Then one day he's like, yo, it's like that's what the mom used to eat back in the days, man. That was where that was coming from, you know?
Again, I'm a Haitian kid from Miami. I heard. I'm like, what? What? Who the hell? I didn't know they even ate stuff like that. But again, I'm glad you explained what you explained.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that was.
Yeah, then you know what's crazy? I really didn't. I never like ate that. Like, you know what
Don't
I'm saying?
dish.
Like,
You don't
Hold on one
belong
second. Let me see
nowhere.
something right quick. Let's see. Oh yeah, so you know what though? I gotta go to the track right here too. Oh, one second,
Too
right?
small, you funny, man. Bend you, twist you, mend you, flip you, make front page, then send you the issue. Work you, hurt you, just out of virtue. Irk you and twerk you for coming in my circle. The criminal version of the general surgeon. That means curtains. And how could you win if you hurting? Suck your skirting. The week could begin if you're certain. To the end, don't let me get this truck in reversing. Pop the Louis on the opportunity. Lots of jewelry and pop when you with me, don't sleep. Throw your arms, little conversation. The steamy, hot, dreamy relation. See, we be lacing, burn like cremation. Well, you can tell by them L's we wasting. Man, it's in the air, y'all. To say you made up like Clairvaux. A fair ball, honey, bear raw. Snare on.
Go ahead and speak on Funny Man, man.
Check out this song.
man. I mean, that was just one of them joints, man. My bro Tommy, shout out to Tommy Guns, man. He had a bunch of tracks. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, let's get on, let's get busy. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the joints that already had the laughter in it. And he was getting on his producer stuff at the time. So he was just like, yo, let's do this joint like this, man. You funny, man. Funny. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we just wound up putting it together. That was off the Ghetto Legend album right there. Shout out to Famous Records, man. That's when I got my first taste of independent life.
So, last question before we go to like the few people in the audience if they would like the question. But, so how was it like working with Miss Hustle Bunny? I mean, I know Miss Malysa has a question, BigOg has a question, but how was it like working with? What's the writing process working with Miss Hustle Bunny?
I mean, she a little bougie, but you know what I'm saying? Nah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, man, to be able to first of all, I was a fan of hers. You know what I'm saying? Like she definitely one of them lyricists that I respected. You know what I mean? So we used to always talk about it when I was incarcerated that we was gonna do some music. And I was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta step to the plate. You know what I mean? She get her head right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, now that we out here and we putting music together, it's just what I thought it would be. You know what I mean? It's a great combination, man. It's what I'm saying, a match made in heaven, man. It's just been a pleasure, you know what I'm saying? Putting stuff together. with her, man. Her process. You know, she's a real lyricist, man. She, a real artist. You know what I'm saying? And I respect it.
Like what this right here?
You can catch Hustle Bunny where? Anywhere solo. Romaine on my flesh, cocky stance by Manolo. I'm VIP status, no hoes though. I keep my bottoms on the track for the polio. I've been about my bag, no slow-mo. These lames trying to get a peek at the promo. But I'm on my grind, I got my family. I merely rock to the block and keep my sanity. I'm trying to reach a mill, they gon' be mad at me. And bring Depp home naked on the canopy. I be in red dot, but I'm a Harlem girl. I guess to leer up and take a trip around the world. So I be everywhere when it's hustle time. You ever see a sexy chick with a hustle mind? It's just a sneak peek of what is yet to come. I don't fuck with dudes unless it's Smith and Wesson them.
Word up, Hustle Bunny, you gave him a sneak peek. I get it.
You get it, I get it, I get it.
I get it.
But yeah, go ahead, Miss Malysa. Go right ahead. Thank you, man. Again, she fired. We gotta get her on the show too, man. We gotta check something up with her too, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Just let me know.
I like that. I'm always with I'm major girl power, so yeah,
Uh-huh.
hustle money all day. Let's do that.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Let's do that.
That's
But
a fact.
yeah, nonetheless, so I guess my next question would be advice, a wisdom nugget. You are big on advocacy. I hear you talk with passion and influence about how important it is to be a righteous individual, for lack of a better term. What out of this journey from birth to earth till now, what wisdom nuggets would you pour into someone going through there? I would say at least 3.
Right. I mean, I know off top, from my experience on a serious tip, like, well, it's all serious, but I mean, like, kids feel like, it's not that serious, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what most kids are setting themselves up for today. Like, they just feel like they can just do whatever they're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
without any consequence, and I think that's what we've learned, or I've learned, that every that it's a beginning stage to everything. You know what I'm saying? And then if you could see that beginning stage, even as a person, actually doing these things, awareness is everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think the first thing I would tell a child or somebody that's youthful was just, to understand that, they can't run from themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have to, actually address their issues, you know what I'm saying? If they feel like they have any, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I can't agree more. I got one more and then I'm going to get on up out the way. So I heard Madison Square Garden is on your bucket list. But
Yeah.
if you could go anywhere in the world, if you got the opportunity to hop on a flight right now, where are we going?
We're gonna take it back to the motherland.
Harriet.
We're gonna take it back to the motherland. I gotta see what's going on out there.
No doubt. No
Uh,
doubt. I'm going to
yeah.
sit down and get my hair braided. That
Oh,
period.
that's
And
what's
then
up.
get my hair braided. I need some waist beads or some type of accessories because I love everything about it. And some clothes, some something.
Yeah, definitely that part, man. I just want to witness it, that open space, just knowing that I'm out in a country full of people that like myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to experience that.
That's
But
what's up. I appreciate you. David, back to you.
Go right ahead, Mr. Big Op.
I just got another question for you, my brother. Since you started your own label, Black Market Recordings, how does that like help you shape, the music that you're putting out?
it's definitely a responsibility involved. It helps me to understand the music that I'm, the industry that I'm in. It definitely helps me to be more responsible again with the music. And it helps you also understand the business side of music. Because a lot of times you look at things from an artist standpoint all the time. You know what I mean? Understanding the business behind a lot of the music, it helps you it helps you be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more measured with your craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so recently you had a situation that happened, right? I'd like to know what did you do on this day?
Yeah, happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah, one more year on them. Yeah, go on one a vibe, give thanks for life. Next year we doing it again, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Whoa, one more year on them. Yeah, more life to you, can we day till the end. Real from me heart, no pretend.
Hey, I at least had to say happy birthday up on here, you know what I'm saying? On the Great Lyricists Only podcast, you know what I'm saying, with Big Malysa, we got Big David, myself, we got Miss Don't Play, Grant, Claire, that's a few of our other co-hosts that are not here right now, but I had to make sure we said happy birthday to you. And so how did you spend your birthday?
Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I mean, I just spent it with family and friends, man. You know what I'm saying? We went out to 515. You know what I'm saying? It's a club right here on 138 and 138 and 7th Avenue. 139th and 7th. Nice spot, man. We went to Why Not Warren's Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? It was ill. Shout out to Why Not Warren and the bros, man. We just did it up, man. We came through there, had a nice little intimate gathering, listened to some music, cut some cake, ate some good food. You know what I'm saying? I spent some time with my moms, my wife, and you know what I'm saying? It was beautiful, man. Some old friends. Just chilled out, man. Just brought it on in, man.
Yeah, that's fire, man. Again, I had to say happy birthday once again. And
Thank you, brother.
Right before we wrap it up, I know we got to go. It's getting late, you know what I'm saying? You got to get back. I know you was editing when I called you earlier today. I know you was like doing your thing. So
Yeah, I'm still in there.
You still in the lab
we
right
working
now.
on it. Yeah.
Again, I would say, because look, that lets you know, man, how humble you are, because you're working on something right now. You say, you know what, let me take a few minutes out of my time to speak to these people. You know what I'm saying? Again,
Of
this
course,
represents
man.
humbleness. Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Again, I
good.
really
Of
appreciate
course.
that.
Thank you, man. For sure, man. I enjoy chopping it up with y'all tonight, man.
Big Ock or Malysa?
Yeah, I got one more question. Like, how important is vulnerability in your new music? Are there any stories that you haven't told yet that you feel that you finally ready to tell? And since owning your own label, you feel that you can tell those stories the way that you want to?
I mean, it's funny you say that because I was just I was just kind of milling something around, and I was like sometimes you can tell like the same story like in a different way, you know what I mean? I think music, like I said before, like hip hop to me has proven that it's a definite, it's an art form that, you can express anything on it at this point. You know what I mean? So, you know, vulnerability is definitely in the spectrum of creativity. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a genre or something that you're doing that's just strictly macho, like strictly testosterone driven, like I don't think that's even real. You know what I mean? A man or a male, you know, should be comfortable with, being able to show a weakness or being able to express, something that he's going through, and still, feel like he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? So, I do think vulnerability is I don't know if I could say it's important. It's important, and if that's what if you want to be a whole artist, I think you should be able to, dive into, all elements. You know what I mean? You should be able to, delve into anything.
And right before we wrap it up, I got a question about this situation right here.
Mr. Reed, trickery, get you smoke like hickory. Better have epiphany or get broke like a Tiffany lamp. He did, he thought, his kid, his soul can dread. Knew he had to hold his image. Now, the French you painted this is all simply stated. Rather therapeutical, it's cool. You have a beautiful life. Live on, try hard, be strong. Why die when you can fly high as a pigeon? From young men shot up, products in society, contributing to living described in life's diary. It's very special. It's very special. Had dreams and teams to be ball, bagged up and tagged up on the wall. Mischievous youths in hallways, never got all A's and hustled small way. Rocking them big rings, dip bling to get things to fam. Even pistols
That's
to
that
gram.
G-Dep and Loon, which is the bad boy. Shout out to Big Eye for finding that right there. How did that project come about? I know we about to wrap it up, but like, just about that project right there, that G-Dep and that Loon, man.
Yeah, man, that actually wasn't a bad boy. I don't know if that was a. I don't even know who those dudes. Shout to them, man. I think it was Sickum Records or Sickin Records or something like that. But yeah, that was just something that it was brought to my attention. You know what I'm saying? And brothers, we just put that together. You know what I'm saying? They was like, yo, X, Y, and Z. We got you know, this amount of songs we need done, and we got this amount of money for you. You know what I'm saying? It was like, one of them things, man. Not to be crass, but we didn't intend on doing that, and it just was one of them things. We just did it. I had laid my verse, and didn't know what was gonna become of them. They said, "Yo, we need you on this, and I was like, I bet, you know what I mean? And then I laid it, went out to LA, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? A couple of years later, I heard the album. And I was like, wow, fire. You know what I'm
A
saying?
couple of years later,
If I'm not mistaken, I think we did it. We did it in 2008, maybe, or something like that. And then I didn't hear the album until, years later. Like, I heard the album, if I'm not mistaken, I heard it when I was incarcerated. Like, somebody said, yo, you got a song with Genuine? And I was like, word?
you say, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, word, when? I was hype. I was like, wow, that's fire. So when you hear the album, they mixed it up with everybody. Like DMX is on it, Styles, Chic, the Genuine joint. I was like, oh, fire. You know what I'm saying? So, it was dope. They put that together.
Wow. Okay, for you to find out about an album, okay, all right, all right. So, any last
Hell
before
yeah.
we dip out? I know again, this Hustle Bunny back then. Anybody put some craziness together? Like I said, I can't wait for the
Yeah.
next video. 'Cause, hey, how did you both respond? You guys were like, I understand or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I understand. Yeah, yeah. We was on our 007. You know what I mean? Hit, you know what I mean? It was fun, man. We had fun doing that.
Who came up with that concept? That's fire, man. As far as how y'all did that, man, that was pretty cool.
I mean, it was kind of collective, man. We both thought that the video should be a production. You know what I mean? And we were like, yo, explosions, flying, you know, fighting, espionage. You know what I'm saying? So it was just so you kind of just see a product of just that whole effort. You know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. So, Miss Swan, Big Eye, before we go, do you have any questions before we close it out?
No, I just want to tell him thank you, for hanging out with us. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, pleasure was mine, man.
Hmm.
It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Salute to you. It's just been an honor and a pleasure. You're absolutely a rare jewel in your thought process and your representation. I love what you stand for, and I love the fact that you are making yourself available for other people to be accountable for themselves. So again, salute to you, everybody that pours into you. May it be restored 100-fold.
Man, I appreciate that. That's definitely some great words. I appreciate that. Likewise, I definitely appreciate just speaking to everybody. It's been a genuine experience for real.
Oh, for sure.
One time for your humility, one time for your grace, and two times for you being a legend. And it's absolutely a
Appreciate it.
pleasure, a blessing. And thank you for taking
Likewise,
the time out of your busy schedule. I swear to God, we are all so grateful. And you've given
likewise.
us much insight. And I've gotten to know one of the people that I grew up You know what I'm saying? When I had my baby fat on, I got to talk to somebody when I was so low, my baby fat on. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that.
All day, all day. You already know. Don't even worry about it. Don't sweat it. That's what we do. All day. And I'm looking forward to us doing it again.
Like I said, man, thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna just play my sister's intro, but I'm gonna play it as an outro because again, it's about love, positivity, blessings to everyone. You know what I'm saying, that are here and will be listening to this in the future. Again, God bless everyone for being here at the Great Lyricists Only podcast with your boy David Kidd, Malysa the Exclusive, Big Ock, Swan, Quavius or Swan or Miss Antoinette, Corporate. Mr. Trevell Coleman and Miss Hustle Bunny in the background. You know what I'm saying? Got Grant, Miss Don't Play. They, you know what I'm saying, they're doing their thing. And of course, one of my big homies from Harlem too. He's not here right now. His name is Cliff. But play this right quick and then we on out.
Dear Heavenly Father, we live Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, also known as GDEP, and ask your protection and grace over their lives. We pray for David, Malysa, Big Ag, Miss Don't Play, Claire, Grant, Dr. Dre, and everyone listening now and in the future. Thank you for guiding us, for uniting us, and for being here with us. Thank you for being here with David Kidd and the Great Lyricists Only podcast. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Shout out to my sister. She's gonna love that.
Shout out to sis. Amen.
Yeah, man, amen, man. But again, everybody, thank y'all so much for being here. Great Lyricists Only podcast, and I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. And then I'm about to end it in 3 seconds.
Likewise. All right, peace.
We've got it down to a fine art between us now.
And again, thank you so much for being here at Great Lyricists Only podcast. Shout out to my mother Gloria. God bless you all.